Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the third installment of our Eclipsed Gaming Summer Showdown team previews. Today, we have a very exciting team that I've been dying to interview. It is Death Blossoms, and we have Rai, a support player for Death Blossoms. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you for joining us. Sorry for the technical difficulties and for me being late, but I'm glad that we can get this underway. So, you guys had a very, interesting season in CGL last season, starting out as Coach Tool kind of set you guys up as the team who would like talk a lot of game and back it up. But we'll get into like the past record that you guys had. We'll get into like how you feel about the future. But like as of today, how are you feeling about you and your team? Going into the tournament, going into CGL. How are you feeling about that?
We're feeling pretty confident. We don't have I don't have a lot of info on some of the teams because some of them are just kind of changing around. But based on what I'm seeing in our scrims and just around our team in general, I'm feeling a lot more confident than we did last season. I'm really
Wow.
excited for the season start.
Yeah. More confident than y'all were last season. Y'all set a pretty
Mm-hmm.
high bar, so we'll have to see how it goes. But speaking of last season, you guys, in the midseason playoffs lost in a close game to Cuddle Puddle in the semis, ended up losing to Solar Eclipse in the grand finals after having such a great bracket run. What was that grand finals loss like? And how did you guys end up recovering from that after? Because as you seem confident now, so clearly something afterwards went through to kind of get you guys back into it. What was that like?
So first things first, I want to say, uh, I don't mean this in any way to disrespect Solar. They won, it was a good game. But I think going into most of the season, we didn't really have a consistent tank player.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you know that. We had to have off roles, like a player play tank who's not comfortable on tank. I had to swap roles too. Like it was just a lot of role swapping that we just weren't fully comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we did a really good job despite all that.
Yeah.
And now, we're just kind of getting tank players in, getting accustomed to them,
Mm-hmm.
and just getting, be able to play everyone's like main role is huge. And it's
Yeah.
just been feeling really amazing since.
That's good. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. So, you know, we still got a little bit to go to the CGL season. We're kind of in the quote unquote like home stretch to be, sort of speak. We're about to have the Ghost tournament in a weekend. And then after that, it's just going to be full steam ahead, for week one of the CGL season. So, what have scrims been like for you guys? Like, what does that prep look like right now?
Uh Scrims have been pretty good. We just been slowly increasing the scrim SR,
Mm-hmm.
like basically week by week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give too much away for like prep and just kind of what we do outside of like that stuff because gotta keep some, hands
Yeah,
to ourselves.
fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, no, we just like sprint scrims have just been feeling extremely good.
That's good.
Like, I'm really excited for the season start because I feel like we're a lot better than we were last season.
Yeah, and y'all were pretty good last season too. A lot
Hmm.
of really good games from you guys, so I'm really excited to see the improvement. I know you said there's not a lot you want to give away, and that's totally fine. I will say a
Hmm.
lot could change in a few months meta-wise, so who
Oh
knows?
yeah.
Hopefully, it won't be in horse meta anymore. God, please. But for the time being, are there any scrim bucks you want to cash in? Any info to leak? Is there anything you might know of, or you might be feeling? If not, that's fine. But I've asked every team this so far.
Yeah. So like in terms of like scrims with other teams in CGL, we've only really scrimmed one other team,
Mhm.
and that's been Cuddle a few times. Um, I mean they've been really good scrims. Like I'm excited to see Cuddle in like more of an official
Yeah,
capacity.
it's cool.
Um, we've scrimmed them a few times. I've been there only once because summer things.
Yeah.
Um, I know there's been talks of with Checkmate, but they've not really worked out
Mhm.
for scrims. But I'm excited to kind of, you know, eventually see the other teams because
Yeah.
so far we have not.
Fair enough. I wanna press on that checkmate mention a little bit because
Mhm.
I've heard various stories. I heard from Coach Toole that like there was kind of like ducking allegations going to checkmate, like they weren't really willing to scrim y'all. And then I heard from, Reese and Strider just the other day that checkmate canceled on or no, Death Blossoms canceled on checkmate. So what's your perspective on that? Is it really just unfortunate events? Do you think checkmate stuck in? What do you think's going on there?
I would say it's probably more unfortunate. The only thing I know is based off of what I've heard from Tool, because Tool's been the one that's attempted to set it up. It's just from what I've heard, bad communication. Because I
Mhm.
think he's was in talks with Ghost about setting up. I think it's just kind of somewhere the communication things just kind of fell apart. So nothing fully got set.
Fair enough. Well, you guys are set to play them during the Summer Showdown. That's something we'll get to a little bit later, but hopefully we'll finally
Yeah.
get that game then. Just mentioning Coach Toole, you guys have 3 tanks on the roster. We'll talk about them in a second. But what are the chances Coach Toole pulls out the hammer this season and he ends up playing? Are they zero? Are they none? Like, is there a chance at
Uh
all? Or
I would assume zero because he's currently in Masters.
oh,
So he's not
jeez.
eligible. He got tired. He got fed up with having to bail us out with the whole tank thing. So he's like, "Yeah, no, you guys don't get my help this time." He immediately hit Masters after the season,
Fair
just to
enough.
kind of fully cut all that out.
Fair enough.
So there will be zero Coach Tool.
Zero Coach Toole. Hopefully still the banter that we love that we've known and loved from him thus far,
Oh,
but,
he'll be around, but
yeah,
no in-game play from Tool.
and that's cool, that's cool. So, you have mostly the same core from last season with your DPS players and your support players. Got
Mhm.
3 new tank players. That'll be our next question, but looking at this, like, going into the season, I feel like last season, when we looked at Death Blossoms, the entire team kinda shocked the league because, like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There were teams that were expected to be slightly better. If you checked my first power rankings I had you guys at like fourth or something. Like y'all weren't
Yeah.
really expected to be great, good, but not great. But this time around, who do you think on your team, now that you guys have the expectations that you have, will end up shocking the league this time?
That's a tough question for me to answer, just because of the whole thing I mentioned earlier about
Mhm.
some players having to swap, roles to play other
Mm,
things. So they could be candidates to kind
mm,
of shock people with them playing on their main role. There's two people I kind of want to mention the most.
mhm,
One being Nax,
mhm.
no longer in tank jail.
Love to
He
see
can
it.
actually play what he's more comfortable on. And
Mhm.
then the other one being JML.
Mm,
Because from a mechanical standpoint, I personally don't think there's another DPS in Diamond tier that can match up to him,
mm.
like, at all.
Love to see it. We'll have to see if that holds up. But we've talked a lot about, your roster, current roster. You
Mhm.
guys, you said you've mentioned a lot in this interview, and it was kind of the story surrounding you guys last season was y'all didn't have like a true tank player.
Yep.
Well, now you have 3. So do you want to
Well,
tell us?
2 right now, yeah.
Well, 2 officially, a third
Yeah.
potentially. But how do you feel about your tank players? What can you tell us about them? I know Fatal Turtle, didn't he play for BGS? It was BGSU, right? That he played for?
Yep.
And I know that he's a baller. I know that Queen is
Mhm.
insane. So I'm sure he's going to have a really good season with you guys. But I've never heard of Uvalto, and I can't say I've heard of Taco either. So is there anything you can tell us about those two?
So Yveltal won't be a part of it,
Mm,
but, in regards to Taco, he is a player that we trialed last season before CGL.
mm,
We really liked him, but there was, issues with registration
mm-hmm,
because he was technically Masters, I think, like, 5 on console.
mm-hmm,
He's PC now, but he was Masters 5 on console for the first season that they needed for last
mm.
CGL season. So once
Okay.
we got out of that season, we just kind of reached out because he was eligible now, and
Fire.
we brought him back in to see where things take us.
Fire. Love to see it. Well, I'm excited to see this new Death Blossoms in action, and we're about a little under a month away before the Summer Showdown happens.
Hmm.
Something that I like about this tournament is that this wasn't an open tournament. These teams were handpicked and invited. you've got Blackout Eclipse, the tier 3 team for Nebula for the for the Eclipsed Gaming Award. You've got Solar Eclipse, the reigning champs. You guys obviously had a great season. Cuddle Puddle, great season. Checkmate, they're rumored to be like the best right now. And then Rat Milkers, I think everyone's kind of expecting them to be the worst, but I know they're players and I know that they have the talent.
Mhm.
So looking at it, besides yourselves, because I know you guys would say yourselves, who do you think is likely to win the Summer Showdown out of those teams?
So I want to say personally Cuddle, just because that's the only team that I kind of know what they can do.
Yeah.
Because I only know a few players from Checkmate. I
Hmm.
don't know anyone else except for one player on was it Rat Milkers?
Hmm.
I know of one of their players, and the other two teams are just full mysteries to me at this point in
Yeah.
time.
I will say Solar has undergone a lot of changes since then. So
Oh yeah.
there'll be a bit of a mystery card going into the tournament.
So it's
Um,
hard for me to talk on a couple of the teams just because I
mhm.
don't know. But what I have seen from Cuddle going from, last season into this one,
Mhm.
I like what I see from them. So if I were to answer someone besides myself, it'd definitely be Cuddle.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Love to see that you guys are scrimming regularly. They're a really good team. I think Blackout scrimmed them earlier this week, and it was a pretty good scrim. So love to
Mhm.
see it. So there was a lot of talk last season in CGL about a quote unquote big three. It ended up being Solar, Death Blossoms, and Cuddle. Going into
Mhm.
this season, who do you think is going to be like in this quote unquote CGL big three? If you have a way too early pred on that, I think for me, my way too early pred would probably end up being Checkmate. Based off what I know now, Checkmate, Cuddle, and DB. I don't know about the order, but I just know that like
Mhm.
those would be the three for me.
I know I would definitely put DB and Cuddle in there. I'm sure you
Mm.
expected that.
Yeah.
I think those two teams, just based off of the feeling I'm getting right now, are just kind of in a league of their own at this current moment.
Mm.
Um, yeah, but the third spot, I'm not entirely sure. It can kind of go either way.
Hmm.
Um, just for the fun of it, I'm gonna say the third spot's gonna be Rat Milkers. They sound like a fun team.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll have to see if that comes true. We are towards the end of this interview. I really appreciate the time and everything that you've said so
Mhm.
far. Are there any shout outs or any trash talk that you want to put on before you go?
Um, yeah, I'll just give a shout out to Tool.
Mm-hmm.
Best coach in CGL.
GG.
Um, yeah. I guess one last thing is we are going to this next season expecting not just to not drop an entire match, but not to even drop an entire map.
Oh,
So that's kind of our thoughts right now.
fire map. You think you think you could do that in the showdown showcase as well?
That I'm not sure because
Mhm.
because we're gonna be missing people because of summer,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
so it's a little bit different.
A
Like
little bit
one of our
different.
players is currently not in the country,
Oh wow.
so it's gonna be a little bit different. But we'll have all our players, able to play come the actual season. I think when that time comes.
Yeah. Well,
I don't I don't I don't think we'll drop a single map.
I'm excited, and I don't know if you know this, but as dominant as Solar was for an entire year, there is a team who went an entire season without
Mhm.
dropping a single map, and they're currently the only team in the CGO Diamond tier that has done it. And I'm pretty sure that was Cogent. It was a Cogent team. So
Okay.
got a lot to live up to there. I would be curious to see if you guys can do it. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you having you here. And yeah, that's all we got for you today. So thank you for joining us, Rai.
Yep, thank you for having me.